Hello, Harmonites. So today's topic is, are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready to invest in a mentor? Now, if you haven't done so already, I've done a couple of videos prior to this on the subject that I do recommend you go back and watch. One is questions to ask before hiring a mentor. And then the other one is the types of mentors and healers that are out there. And it is important to know what aspects those are. So I do recommend that you do watch those ahead of time. Do your homework. It's homework. Yeah, I know. It's a lot of homework, but it's good homework. It's absolutely good homework that I assigned. So are you ready? Are you ready to invest? What does that mean? You know, one of the things that people want to see is if they want to see quick results, how much time and effort that they're going to be putting in, and really is how much are you willing to invest in yourself? How much are you willing to invest on learning, on educating, on growing? Depends on what, whatever aspect in your life that you are trying to grow to make a better version of you, because everyone's ultimate goal is to be happy. And it's all it comes down to, whether it's materialistic stuff or relationships. Really, the immense feeling that we want is to be happy, at peace. That's what it all comes down to, right? So how much are you willing to invest in that, to find that? Once you have that ability to identify how much time and effort you want to do, you are going to carve that time out. And you don't have to take giant steps right away. You can start this as small and as little and build it up. My journey has now been almost a 4.5-year journey. I have grown tremendously in those 4.5 years. 2 years was really my big jump when I had built myself up, meaning confidence. When I build my confidence up to start investing more on areas, because what happens is you kind of become addicted to wanting to be happy, but it's because you feel it. You feel this happiness. You feel yourself. You feel authentic. And once you start getting to that level of being authentic, there's nothing stopping you. There's nothing going to stop you. You might have some hiccups down the road, but you'll find that you're going to make leaps and bounds once you start getting that confidence level up. Little things. And I mean, you can really start little. So just to give you a personal example, I went into this to really get my mentality back into place. Like I had said in my prior videos, I didn't like anything about myself. I didn't like anything. I didn't like what was going on with my health. I had an autoimmune disorder. I was extremely overweight. I was overall unhappy. My medical, not just my medical, but my mentality was just not there. I didn't like myself. I didn't like the person that I was. I didn't really like to even hang out with myself. I was pretty pessimistic. I was negative. I complained a lot. I would put myself down and not realize it. Outside of the physical and mental, I had relationships and friendships that didn't serve me. That, I was just not identifying with all the stuff in my environment of how unhappy I was. Career-wise, I was burnt out in my photography business. Couldn't understand what was going on with me. And I had to start somewhere. So when I did my list, my homework was I put stuff in priorities, what was most important to me to try to figure it out. And what was drawn to me was my inner knowing. And I will always give that advice to anyone is to utilize your intuition. Now, it's hard to know or identify your intuition when you're in low vibration because you have doubts. But there's also a point where, that little voice that just you start honing in on and listening to, and then you're like, well, why not? What else do I have? What other options do I have at this point? Now, we'll go on a whole nother topic on having the power of choice, but I had come to the point where I had asked myself a choice of what was most important. And the most important was my mental state, because I felt like I was losing my fucking mind. I really did. There was nothing that I was like, there's no way I can be like this negative and like unhappy. Like I just wasn't there. I was just literally a walking avatar of what was going on. And, to have people in my life not even realize what was going on with me was even scarier, because I was like, holy shit, I am probably the best actress. Why don't I have a fucking Oscar at this point? How do people not know how unhappy I am? So here's the thing. When you get to that level, like I did, I started making little changes, and my little changes was meditation. Meditation was a huge deal for me. That was something that I didn't think I was ever able to do, but I was like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And I was inspired to do it because, when I was feeling low, I had gone to a bookstore and they had changed, which my typical thing was to do was to escape, right? To escape and go to my sci-fi section and just read something about space or paranormal or just, some kind of weird romance or anything to just like make me not like live this reality. They had swapped the section to a self-help section, and something stopped me, but also pushed me to just grab a whole shelf of the self-help books. I still remember going up there and the cashier guy going, "Are you teaching something?" And I'm like, yeah, myself. I don't know. But what I did is I came home and all of these books I happened to pick a lot to do with meditation. Now, whether you believe in signs or omens or things that come in your thing or law of attraction, which I do firmly believe in, to me, I already know what was drawing me there. They were giving me help on that level. Some people will just say it's coincidence. Who knows? I'll leave you to be open-minded on how you feel it is. The point is I took the time to start meditating. And what happened there was I realized I really sucked at meditation because I didn't really know what it was, So I decided to invest in meditating, and I would invest with just like doing a couple of minutes in the morning, a couple of minutes during my lunch break, and then I would do more of a long one at night. And I tried to do guided ones. I did ones where it was just me. I had multiple apps, everything. Like I was invested in doing this. I was like, well, why not? Let's see how it is. Let me just give a certain amount of time to see what it is. Let's give it a month. What happened was I shifted in a month with just the little things that I was doing. I shifted other things in my life. Okay. All of a sudden, the person who didn't really care about how they felt or looked or anything like that. I really was not looking to lose weight. I was probably the heaviest at my time. Like I said, I had a really bad autoimmune disorder that affected my skin. No one could tell me what was wrong with me. And that does take a lot of your self-confidence away, especially, with me being a woman. I had all of these skin issues on my face and everyone could see it. I was just becoming really self-conscious. It really takes away from it. And, the weight was just something also that I had added on, and I didn't realize even how freaking fat I was. I didn't even realize it. I was close to 300 pounds, and I had this obscure view of me that when I looked at pictures, I just didn't even see it, And I do remember at the time that my husband at the time had taken a picture of me, and I didn't even recognize that person. I was like, who the hell is that old person? He's like, it's you. I was like, no, it's an old fat lady. Who is that? Just like, it's you. I was like, what? And I was looking at it. I was like, what? And all of a sudden I had this awareness. And so I was doing this during my meditation when I was starting to learn it. And I started to do like little things like park a little bit further. Okay. Parked a little bit further so I could walk, so I could get exercise. I started becoming aware of things. And that's what happens with meditation. You become aware of things because you're clearing your space. You're clearing your head. So that is something that I invested in. This is an example of how I invested my time. So when are you ready to invest in a mentor? Well, I got to the point where I was doing certain things, but then I was like, well, can I have more? Is there more out there to help me? And what happened is I became open. my heart was open because I was so closed-minded. I was like, no, this can't happen. That's not possible. Now I was seeing possibilities. Now I was feeling a little bit better about myself. Now I was taking action. Ooh, action, right? That's what's going to create the momentum. I was taking actions to better me. I was seeing things that were making me happy. I was feeling it. I was absolutely feeling it. So then I just became open. And really, honestly, when I became open, everything started to come towards me. I had a friend who at the time was selling a product that, was more in a nutritional value. I ended up joining just to say, hey, well, why not? I'll try this. It gave me bounds and leaps. And what happened is that she had a coach with her on there, and she ended up transferring me with the coach. And this coach had a support group. And then I was kind of like in this group with this nutritionist and all of these people. And I was like, oh my gosh, my whole, all of that kind of changed. And I started seeing physical changes on me. And then as my physical changes went, I started getting the confidence again. And then I was like, well, what's more out there? And then, when I was getting my physical changes, I met another person who said, hey, I think you're going through a spiritual awakening. And I went, what is that? And then that spiritual awakening went to, me meeting up with a medium, and then meeting another friend who was a channeler, and then somebody who was a yoga instructor who I ended up going to a yoga class. Do you see how fast this is happening? Do you see how much of a spider web this went? This happened. Now I'm giving a really quick, you're probably like, what the hell just happened here? I was just showing you the point, how quick it can happen. That was like within 2 years. All of a sudden it was like, 2 years. I think you should try to see a therapist. Okay, I'll do that. You should do this. Okay, let me do that. You should go back and look and see. You should go back and look, and maybe you need some inner child work. What is that? I have no idea what that is. Oh, I know somebody. Okay. I was invested. I was not 20%, 30%, 50%. No, I was 100% invested. I was addicted to knowing what was better for me out there. I still have that feeling that something better is coming. And it is an amazing feeling, but it's also very scary because, when you start investing on this, other things come in and about. You're going, how much money did I just invest in this? And it could look really fucking crazy. You put it all on paper and you go, oh my God, I just spent how much on this? But look back and reflect and say, oh my God, look how far I came with that help. Look where I am today. You're going to hit bumps and roads and people along the path that as your confidence grows, as your intuition grows, and you start listening to yourself, you'll know if it's the right fit or not. Sometimes you will leave a person. Sometimes you will stay with them as a mentor. But when you are invested, 100% invested, that is when the changes come about. Now, if you are over 100%, which is now my goal, I'm like, now I raise the stakes. That's when the success starts coming in other levels for you. And you will start doing things that you just are like, this is great. I love my life. I'm doing stuff that I love. I'm going to be authentic and live my life the way I want to live it. That is an awesome investment. So, depending on how much you want to invest is how much you're going to get out. Your time is the biggest factor on this, not how much a mentor is. Your time is the biggest factor in this. There are all different kinds of healers, mentors, life coaches, channelers, mediums, all of that, even in the medical field, whatever type, of healer you are trying to get, that are on all different pay scales. I will be honest with you. The ones who are higher, that seem scarier to you to put a price tag to, are the ones that have pushed me the most to fucking change. Because when you put an investment on something, all of a sudden you realize, holy shit, I just invested in this. I need to I need to make what it is, because it becomes real, it becomes tangible. So I do believe in that level, that, when you are putting that investment in there, that, you can't put a price tag to it. Now, that's not downing the people who are, trying to charge at a lower level and so forth. I do think that they are important as well, because everybody's on a different part of their growth experience. They are at a different part of their growth experience. So depending on where that person is in their journey is when they will find the right healer and what they want to invest to push up. You either want to shoot for the sky or you want to build up that momentum. That's your choice. And there is not anything wrong with what choice you pick. If you want to do the slower path or if you want to see the higher path. But until you are 100% invested, then you are ready for a mentor. You're ready to do this work. You're ready. Now, if you are at the low level of being invested, like I said, there's nothing wrong with that. You are building up. So it's going to be a little bit slower. Like I said, I'm now 4 years within this. I am going to go through a spiritual journey until the day I die. Is what it is. I love it. I love it. I love myself enough to invest. So the question is, are you willing to invest in you? If you like this video, please take the time to hit the like button. If you feel guided to subscribe, go ahead and subscribe, and you can smash that bell so that you can get subscriptions for other episodes coming up. I hope you have a great day.